Hey, Caleb.
What's happening?
Ready to get some sweat equity on?
Let's do it.
We got some flatbreads.
That's right.
Flatbread pizza.
That's right. Courtesy of our good fine friends at Fruitwood.
We're gonna have a happy Caleb because when you bring food into the studio, look at him. He's beaming. I know you can't see him.
I'm ready to go.
You can't see him in the audio, but ooh, baby.
The shirt's not gonna fit by the end.
All right. This is Sweat Equity Podcast on tocoworks.com. You can find all the episodes. I'm your host, Law Smith. Sitting here with me is, God damn it, I had a name for you. I got to.
Do we want to roll with Caleb?
Yeah, but
you want to just go that
Caleb, the lion purr. Fuddy.
All right. I like that better.
You want to introduce our guest? You can take it over because I got to fuck with some knob over here for a second.
Yeah, you go handle the knob. We have a good friend of the program here today, Price Giles, with Fruitwood Stand Up Market. Price, why don't you say what's up to everybody?
What's going on, guys?
Awesome, man. Awesome. So
before we get into it, we'll do a little
plug action.
Yeah, a little plug action.
Yeah.
Other than the Fruitwood Stand Up Market, you got a plug? You got one?
I don't. I'm gonna do my plug later on. It's someone that Fruitwood works with, a nonprofit they work with every year. We're gonna plug them. So I'm gonna wait to do my plug.
Wow,
so
that's a tease. Do
your plug.
Do it up front, man.
Okay, we're gonna head and go. We're gonna get into it in the episode, but to On Bikes, On Bikes. I think we've all either ridden in one of their their rides or have participated in some way.
Someone wearing their shirt.
Yeah, you might have seen a shirt. So yeah, want to give them a shout. Go check them out on social media. Just a simple Google search, we'll pull them up. Check them out, support, get involved.
It's a charity that does like bike rallies and bike pub crawls and all that stuff. And then whatever they raise from that, they buy bikes for kids in the area.
Oh yeah.
It's in the Tampa Bay area, but who knows how these things kind of take off, and could be something that could be a nonprofit in any city, or you could probably talk to them and ask them how they do it and do it in your city. That's all business is.
That's what it. That's
a lot
what
of
it comes
business
down
is
to.
just like, oh, and I'm not saying that's business, but you got to act as if a business. As if you are a business.
It's a business,
they're
as
a
trying
charity.
to raise money and pay their
you
bills.
Gotta,
it's
got to get it right on that
Yep.
robot.
I'm right in there now.
There you go.
You got to get all up in it.
Okay, put my beard's in there now.
Real nice like.
Before we get into it, also subscribe on iTunes. Put a review out there. Pause. Just hit the pause button. Put that review in. Subscribe. Tell a friend if you like this podcast. We're trying to give realistic small business advice.
Yep.
We like doing interviews with people that are right in the middle of it, right in the beginning stages, and like Facebook, all that, Instagram, all that stuff. And if you have a question, you can hit us up at law@tocoworks.com or caleb@tocoworks.com. That's TOCOWORKS.com. I thought you were gonna finish my sentence.
No, I wanted to. I had a.
You should work on that.
I think one episode I want to do the email read.
Okay.
We can talk about that off air though. That's an off air thing.
You want to do the window dressing? That's fine by me.
Yeah.
It's about Toco.
I don't know. I was thinking about it on the way over here, and I was like, CO. I think you do it good. I think I can do it. Not better, but as good.
Oh, you have a better voice for
No,
radio.
you
Mine's
really do.
No,
mine's
it's
mumbly.
not. That's not what it's about.
I
it's
thought
not
about
what
that
this is
morning
about.
when I was listening to y'all's podcast. I was like, they have good radio voices.
Pants on or pants off?
When I was listening,
Yeah.
I was taking a shit.
Oh, okay. So technically pants off.
Yeah, technically.
Well,
pretty much off.
I actually had y'all on our sound system at work, just going everywhere. Like anybody that was near our building could listen to y'all. It was just going on outside.
So let's.
That's amazing.
We try to not keep it so local. As far as we love Tampa and everything, but we do have a lot of people. I think about half the listeners are outside of Florida and out, plus outside of the United States. But I think explain your business so that someone that doesn't know shit about your company, by the little we gave up front, what is it? What's going on there?
I would give our normal spiel that we give to every customer that walks to the door. New customer is welcome to Fruitwood. We do flatbreads, salads, wraps, juices, iced coffees,
You can take the mic out of the mic stand if you want. If that's like a rapper, if you want to hold it like that.
I bet no customer's ever said that to you in the middle of your spiel.
No,
we're sitting we're sitting on either side of you, so you're kind of I appreciate the eye contact, but you're like,
I guess I'm just talking to the people out there on the podcast now.
Yeah,
that's right.
Not y'all. Yeah, I gotta realize that. But yeah, we do flatbreads. They're all done on honey wheat dough, all wood burning oven. We try to use really fresh ingredients. We got really fresh juices. Our salads are amazing. They're huge. Come check us out. We're located on Swan and Howard in Tampa.
If you're in the Tampa Bay area,
that's right.
I think the healthy food market is interesting. I think it has good like principles. Like a lot of people get in it for the right reason. There's a lot of juice shops popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
Like smoothies were a huge thing in the 90s.
They're reinventing themselves now. Like the Smoothie King is now like trying to switch into like the juicing kind of style. They're doing more kale smoothies and stuff like that now, trying to get away from like your old style. Yeah, get away from the sugar.
Yeah. So. Well, I think that's one thing that catches my eye with Fruitwood, and I think why it's been so successful as well is it's not just a salad sandwich place. It's not just a juicing place. It's kind of a little bit the best of both worlds. You can get a wrap, you can get a salad, you can get a flatbread, you can do the juice, you can do wine, beer. It's kind of got everything you need. I mean, there's been times where I was actually in earlier this week. I grabbed quick lunch, and then there's times where I go in and I just go grab a beer, I grab a glass of wine, and just kind of hang out. And it kind of has the best of both worlds with those kind of vibes. So it's definitely different.
Yeah, we didn't think the salads and wraps would be such a hit, but I swear, like we thought flatbreads would be like the main go-to item.
Yeah, obesity's pretty big around here.
I swear, like we sell so many salads and wraps, it's nuts. Like
I don't get it either.
Do the flatbread sometimes.
You're in the part of town that's a little bit higher end. Every city's got that part of town.
Hyde Park area.
A lot of and if you're not from the area, I'm trying to like give that like. That vibe. It's a lot of soccer moms with badass cars, the badass SUVs that don't know how to drive.
Some Lululemon on.
Right. So it's like a really high-end area, good neighborhood. They want to kind of eat healthier. You notice like more people are conscious of that, whether it's like, a real marriage of love or not, but I think plus this is it's January.
Everybody's New Year's resolutions going on right now.
Yeah, gyms and like fast casual, healthy eating, I'm sure, are through the roof. And then in November, December, not so much. Maybe
a lot of you are cutting cheese out of their diet, which I'm all for because they're like no cheese. I'm like, all right, great, you're saving us some money, so don't get the cheese.
Yeah, no cheese for you.
So as part of running the place, do you have to kind of have? Do you have to be conscious of I got a couple questions because my wife has a fresh tomato allergy. So it's one of those things where we have to tell the person, like either a server or whoever's, if it's a fast casual place, no fresh tomatoes, like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. And
then you end up sounding like a dick. But most people are on just autopilot.
You're like, wow, these people really hate fresh tomatoes. What's their problem?
Well, it's people just forget. Like when you do.
Well, that's I gotta be honest.
Go ahead.
As soon as you said that was a bit of a strange. Like I've never heard. Is that common? Is that common?
What?
A fresh tomato allergy? I've just never heard of it.
I don't think it's that common. I'm just saying allergies in general. I was noticing. We went to a restaurant, a bistro Tuesday night, and we were like, can't have tomatoes. And like said it twice.
Yeah.
We try to like tag team it, so she'll say it, and then I'll just kind of say it. So it's like, it's almost like we're advertising almost.
Do you eat the tomatoes in front of her? Do you like tomatoes?
Tomatoes don't do anything for me. Like they're it's fine. I probably I'm not like I have to have them. It's not like hummus where I'm like, oh fuck yeah.
They're not like barbecue chips, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. They're tomatoes.
But I'm saying allergies in general. There's so many now. So many people probably have something.
Gluten.
And that one, you have to go nuts because that's like only 1%, less than 1% has
celiac disease. Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently that it's like the new coolest thing. I
always want to ask them, do you know
allergy,
what gluten is, and why can't you have it?
Joe Riga would be great to explain at what gluten is.
Our comedian buddy Joe Riga.
Check him out.
Check him out. JoeRigaComedy.com, CigarCityComedy.com. So I weave in plugs for our buddies.
We navigate it pretty nice.
But I'm saying like has that affected sales or your customer service experience? Is it what's it like on the other side of the counter?
I honestly, like, if you're allergic to tomatoes or whatever, I'm just like, all right, no problem, we'll take it out. It's not like we
Yeah.
make everything fresh, so it's not like we're like have to like go back and remake something or take something out. So we make it fresh every time. So we just like, all right, great. You don't want tomatoes? Saves us like 50 cents or whatever. I'm like, great, don't get a tomato.
Perfect.
Yeah, but no, it's kind of annoying sometimes when you're like, the worst is when you just hear people be like, oh, you don't have any gluten like free flatbreads, or like, no, our flatbread tastes good. I'm not really concerned about your gluten free
We keep
flatbread.
flavor in that. If
Yeah.
you want to eat cardboard, we got some out back
Yeah,
though.
that's I'm just like,
You can
whatever.
just- we
But
can
then
throw it
I
in the
tell them to
oven.
get a salad, and then they're like, well, is your dressing gluten free? And I go, tell them, yes, our good dressing's gluten free, and I go through all that.
Yeah.
Like, what about tortilla strips? I'm like, they're corn based. You're good. So I don't know. That's like the only like
So
pet
you're
peeve
the
of mine.
you are the Fruitwood gluten guru then.
Yeah,
That's what you're telling me.
Consult with me if you're concerned about gluten.
We have
in
an
your food.
on-site
Yeah.
gluten consultant, Price Giles.
It's funny now, like everything says gluten free. Like meat doesn't have gluten, obviously, and it's like your turkey, it'll be like gluten free turkey. You're like, all right, it's everyone labels their
Yeah.
stuff now. It's like
just-
this avocado does not have gluten.
Gluten-free Butterfinger.
Yeah, it's like,
Like-
all right.
Where are they?
That's like when they did like no trans fat, and it's like, well, I didn't think this thing ever had. It did it before. It's the same thing. I laugh about it like every now and again. I'll go into the convenience store and it's like, now Pepsi with real sugar, and it's like, what the fuck? Like,
What have I been drinking?
that's a selling point now.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. So like, that's insane if
Well,
you
you-
really think about it.
Yeah, you almost feel like you've been, like you've been like duped.
I mean, we know, everybody kind of knows, but to market the new Pepsi,
It's just like the audacity of them to just be like, to now just blatantly come out and be like, now we're going to put real sugar in it. Starting 2016, we're going to start using real sugar. It's like, just keep killing us.
Well-
like, why? Why now?
Speaking of ingredients, I wonder about this. So, okay, I'll ask the ingredient stuff later, more the supply chain stuff, because if you're in that fresh kind of sector, fresh and healthy, that can be a bitch. At the same time, I think y'all are in a good position. You're in this area where fast casual dining is on the rise like crazy.
Yeah.
Your Chipotle, Moe's, all that stuff, where you have to get out of the car. That's how I kind of just define it, really. I know there's probably other measures, but it's really like fast food.
No, that
Don't
works.
have to get out of the car.
the Chipotle concept. That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
like it's fast casual. You're in. You see what they're doing. You pick out what you want.
But it's also,
Boom.
I
Yeah,
think
you're
the
out.
most important thing, it's made to order.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the go-to these days is it's not made to order like, I'll take a Whopper with no pickles, and it's like, oh, I got this custom hamburger.
And
It's like, no, it's the fresh ingredients. You can really, take out the whole thing or build your own salad
Yeah,
technically
you
if
do
you
that.
even wanted to. So
And then I think, whether the gluten conscious crowd may perturb you, I think we're also increasing in consciousness of what we're eating
Yeah.
a little bit.
No, it's definitely leaning that way with everybody these days because they're just so concerned about the carbs and the calories and everything like
Yeah.
that. But I'm not like that. I'm like a flatbread kind of guy. So like when they ask like, what do you recommend that's super healthy? I'm like, you can get salad, but I recommend one of these flatbreads because they're delicious.
you're like, I'm gonna go to Moe's in a little bit.
Yeah.
So
But I try to eat healthy too. Like you should be healthy and run and eat healthy. But I'm definitely a flatbread kind of guy.
yeah.
The
So-
beer.
And I think a flatbread is, obviously a flatbread's not the healthiest thing you can order
But it's a
on
little
the menu,
healthier
but
than a pizza.
you're
you know?
talking about fresh ingredients that your body knows what to do with. And the size of these flatbreads, which we'll post on our social media,
they're
and we'll
more health
post it in the
conscious
show
instead of
links.
getting like a
It's-
large from
yeah,
Papa John's.
Yeah, you're not.
It's
You're
good.
not
Don't get me
exactly.
wrong, but this is a 10-inch and an 8-inch. It's more like a personal size. You could eat this whole one, but you could eat half and save a half for later, and you don't have to gorge out and like,
Right.
oh my God, I'm so full, and now I gotta go back to work.
Right, and I
Like,
think the 10-inch, the 10-inch is something that's a good size, honestly, to share. You're not gonna walk away feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, feeling filled up and all that sort of
All
stuff.
right, yeah.
So I want to go back kind of a little bit because
Back 10 inches?
we know. So Price is the chief operating partner for Fruitwood.
that sounds official. I like that.
That's
Yeah.
look where you are, man. And this is pretty.
Yeah.
This is pretty official, brother.
Yep.
So
You're doing a podcast on a plastic table. I mean, this is fucking real deal shit.
your owner, who's the owner and the founder of Fruitwood?
Justin.
Justin.
Clark,
Okay.
yep.
Awesome.
He's also owned the Smoothie King next door for 20 years, and other Smoothie Kings here in Tampa and over Florida.
So he's pretty familiar with the kind of, that's more of on a franchise level. And then
Yeah.
how did Fruitwood come about from maybe out of that idea of the Smoothie King?
Well, honestly, like I'm not trying to steal his thunder, but
No,
it is
no.
all his
No,
idea,
no.
yeah. And he came up that he's been in the franchise business, so the Smoothie King business for 20 years, and every single month you get those royalties that you got to pay out at the end of the month. That's a lot of money. And
15%
Yeah,
typically somewhere in there.
yeah, and it's just kind of like he still loves Smoothie King, he still has the Smoothie King, but like it's tiring. You were doing all this work and you got to fork over this check at the end of the month, and they tell you what to do, like how to do it. They're like, you know what? We don't like your floors anymore. We're going to make you redo your floors. You got to pay that. It's kind of like, well, I like my floors. I think they're okay right now.
Well, yeah,
Pretty sure we haven't lost any customers because of the floors.
It's like things like that. And
It's tough.
just-
There's standards, and
Yeah.
a lot of them some are elastic. The bigger you get, the more inelastic it kind of gets, unless you're
Right.
like Hardee's or Checkers,
yeah.
where it's like, do whatever the fuck you want, man.
People are paying us to die. It's all good.
Oh, you don't have to make. My favorite thing is Checkers, where the Checkers are rallies if you're in the West Coast. And my favorite thing about it is like they just don't. Actually, headquartered out of Tampa, but they don't give a fuck. Like they don't give two shits about like trying to make quick time or anything. Like I think the thing is, if you can get a car a minute, you're doing great. And they're like, yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it, kind of
Yeah.
shit. Anyway,
But yeah, he came up with the idea of Fruitwood,
Nice.
and I was going to UT, working at Smoothie King at the time, and I was like, man, this sounds like an awesome fucking idea. I want to be a part of this. And he's like, well, we're just still working on it. Why don't you just help out like however you can? So I live right down the street behind some bars over there, and I'd walk my dog every single day over to the Smoothie King, and we'd be like, all right, what can I do to help? And like we would have our contract in there and be like, help him. I'd be like, all right, so he'd be like, all right, I want you to pass me this wrench when I need it, or like move these bricks when you.
Yeah.
So it's like however you can help out. So I was there throughout the whole build out process, learning like how everything works in there and how everything runs. So I got to learn a lot about the building aspect of building a business too, like where we're gonna put these sinks, the codes. Like you need a drop ceiling here, you need to have a wash sink here.
Yeah.
All these crazy things you don't think about.
so you came in. How old were you?
What was this? 20? When
This
did
is
when did it open? September.
September 2013. I'm
Nice,
27
okay.
now, so I was like 25, 24 at the
So-
time finishing college.
Nice.
So you're in that weird area. All guys that most guys are kind of in this area where you're in your early 20s and you're like, fuck, I don't know what
What
the
am I
fuck
gonna do?
I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
especially after 08, 09, when the recession hit, kind of shook up a lot of shit. You're like, should I go back to school? What am I doing? And then it's one of those things also where you gotta like you have a weird thing where a lot of young 20-year-olds have like an ego, right? And it sounds like you came into it. I actually heard a quote from the prophet Marcus Limonis, Lemon IS,
Okay.
Limonus.
That works for me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Said they were. Someone asked him like, "What's the killer of all small businesses?" And he was like, "The ego of the owner." And I was like, "That's perfect," because you came into a situation that sounded like you may not had a lot of experience with build outs, commercial
None.
real estate, starting a restaurant, and you were just like, "Hey, I'll be that sponge.
I'm the do boy.
Right.
Tell me what to do. Let's
I'll
do
be a
it.
bitch boy. I don't
Let's
give
get
a
it done.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here to learn, and I want to be in this field." And I think that's a really important lesson for anybody that's young and like, I don't know what the fuck I want to do. And I try to tell everybody, like, you're going to do a lot of shit for free or
Oh, yeah.
grunt work like that.
People think that it's like, oh, I'm gonna have this awesome job, make all this money, and I get to tell these people what to do. But no, you're starting at the bottom, and you got to
Yeah.
work 80 hours a week to get to that level. Like we only been open 2.5 years, and I've like days I feel lucky where I'm like don't have to prep. I'm like, oh man, what a great day. We got
like a
employees
half day,
now.
yeah.
Where they can actually like where I could leave to go do this interview. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I had to go take a nap in my car. Like, like I used to like
These are luxuries.
yeah, these are like luxuries. I get a 20-minute nap, and then I'm gonna go back to work, slam a coffee, and work till like 9, 10 at night, and then drink a bunch of wine and repeat at 6 a.m. the next day.
So
Like
there's a lot of cool things to kind of put this into more of an advice situation for a lot of people. Like, I talk to a lot of my friends. I'm 31, and I have a lot of buddies that are older than me, and a lot more that are younger than me that they're rudderless. They're like, I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, I have an interest in this, but I'm not sure if I want to do this. And I'm like, well, they're like, I try to tell them, like, I've done stand-up for 10 years. And I was like, yeah, I don't get paid for a lot of it. Like, even now, even though technically I'm doing professional gigs, I'm going to leave tonight and I'm going to go do a gig for like a drink ticket because I need to go work on this new bit about how men's and women's thoughts are different. Really groundbreaking shit.
I have a good quote just like that we keep up in our store like all the time, and I'm not even religious, but it relates to this real life.
Yeah.
All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. And I look at that every single day because it's like people talk. It's like either talk about it or be about it. That's how I relate to it.
Yeah, that's kind of a big theme we talk about on the
DJ
podcast.
Khaled,
Yeah. You gotta throw down, you know.
No, but I mean that's one of the things we touch on, from time to time. And what is this? This episode 10. It's probably a good time to bring it up again.
Yeah.
It's a big milestone right there.
Is that just talking about doing something is a cop out.
Yeah.
It's getting the reward before you've actually done anything.
Oh God.
Yeah, and we Law and I talk about it a lot off air, but it's just one of those things where do not start talking about something until you've done it or you're doing it or and it's just one of those things you haven't done anything yet if all you're doing is
my
talking.
philosophy at Fruitwood is I would never tell anybody something to do that I can't do myself and that I'm not great at. So like whenever it just comes to I don't know, making a flatbread or prepping the romaine to make the salads, like, you're sitting there, you're like prepping like 20 bags of romaine, you're slicing it, washing it, drying it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling this new person how to do it. Like, don't think I'm telling you just because, I'm just being an asshole. I'm telling you because we need this done. We're going to make about like 100 salads tomorrow. It needs to be done. And I got something else I got to do, but I could do this. And I'm showing you how to do it. I'm not like, this is something I've done for like the last 2 years. And now I'm showing you how to do it. Yeah. So,
and it's kind of like a quality control aspect too, right? Like you're in a little bit of a higher up position, being, there from the get go of Fruitwood. And it's one of those things where you need to it may sound ridiculous to some people out there, but that's the level of commitment and passion that you're talking about when you're talking about Fruitwood.
When you put out these products,
exactly.
You can't just have shit coming out. Like, it has to be the same thing every single time you come. So if you got this person, you're like, this is how you chop these carrots. This is how you're going to chop them every single time you do it. And
yeah. No,
it might seem like minimal, like, I'm just chopping this carrot. Doesn't really, who cares about this? But this is like our lifeblood. This is our job. Like, we're putting out these products for all these people to eat. Like, I got to pay the bills. We got to make this happen. Yeah,
absolutely. And how many people would you say? I mean, based off of that, I mean, that is probably one of the more important things for you guys. Like you said, it's your lifeblood, and your livelihood is the importance of your customer service and your customer experience. Would you say the majority of your customers are repeat customers?
Repeat. Like, I know them I'm pretty good with names, real good with faces, but I'm amazing at remembering what people order. That's like my gift. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So like they come in and I'm like, paddleboard, no cheese, light onions, light dressing. They're like, yeah, thank you so much. But it makes them feel like they're like, man, this guy really knows me. He knows what I want.
He really likes
like
me.
Your mom. Your mom gets a paddleboard, dressing on the side, no onions.
Yeah.
You got the Southeastern the other day.
That's exactly what I got too.
In an age of no customer service, I think people do appreciate. They gravitate towards like the few times that's actually exhibited where it's like, oh shit, this is a neighborhood thing. I feel like this is my place.
And that's a lot of our customers. They can walk here. Like, they come in all the time. They come on their lunch breaks. They bring their kids in. They bring their like baseball team in after a game to celebrate. It's
with
people see all the time.
It's a lot of revenue. The revenue stream in the service industry, we experience it too because technically we're a service industry. We're not selling any products. We're doing web development or branding or whatever. And a lot of it is trying to think, okay, existing clientele gotta be happy as shit. Then
Word of mouth.
60% of your business, and then 40% you need to figure out how to bring in that new business.
This is what someone told me once. You had one bad customer experience, they'll tell 10 of their friends, like, man, this is horrible. but you like do this amazing like customer experience with somebody, you can probably tell like a few friends.
Maybe.
I think that used to be an old. I remember that like a long time ago. I remember that hearing that in high school where it was. I heard it was 9. I remember that
I just
distinctly.
Remember someone told me, yeah.
But also what I'm saying is like I think it's a little different now. I think with the sharing principle of social media, it
Yelp.
It actually could vary wildly because if you think about it, it's not just 9 people. If they have a really bad experience, they might just blast it on their status update on Facebook, and that's
worse.
Hundreds of people that could see it potentially.
Or write a review on your Facebook now. It's so easy to like get feedback now. You got Facebook, Yelp, Instagram, Twitter, all this stuff.
It's good and bad. It gives a voice to a lot of people that are just horrible. That's why Hope It Helps is the best thing to follow on Facebook.
We have good reviews. I check them every now and then.
Y'all know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah.
The comedian Ben Palmer, who he trolls customer service reviews. He acts so if it's like if it's Hardee's, maybe that's why I was talking about Hardee's earlier, because he posted that this week. He'll make a Facebook page that has the Hardee's logo, and then it'll have customer service Hardee's on it.
Is he the guy who was behind the Target one?
Yeah.
Ask for help?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I
I mean,
I've
that
seen
was
these,
absolutely hilarious.
And he trolls all these people that go on Facebook pages of companies that are complaining. And it's like, I read an interview. I've done a show or two with him, I think in Atlanta, but it's one of those things where I was like, this is genius. Because everybody has this weird ego where I have to complain to someone because I can't just scream in a pillow.
Well, that's what social media, and I don't want to get off the topic, that's what social media does, where it kind of gives everyone a voice, and all of a sudden everyone just expects to be.
Everyone's a Yelp reviewer.
Yeah, everyone's an expert. Everyone's not just a reviewer. Yeah, they're all a critic these days. And it's like, but if you have a keyboard, you think that everyone's gonna want to listen to you. That's why I'm a big believer, man. When I hear a movie's bad or I hear a restaurant's bad, if I want to go, I'm going to go. Mm-hmm. And I have friends who are like, don't go see it. And I'm like, no, I think I'm still going to go. And like, I'm telling you, dude, don't. I'm like, or what?
You're
like I want to go see it for myself. I
saw Dolphin Tale 1, and I liked it. Harry Connick Jr. is a babe.
I want to see if Air Bud's going to make the team or
3
not.
was awesome.
But I'm saying, like, the general philosophy for this, not to focus too much on, like, social media or capturing reviews, is that if you just do what you're supposed to do and you do it at a high level and you're constantly keeping quality control, quality assurance, you're making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do as a restaurant owner, you won't have to worry about that. Now, you will have occasional bad review. I'll give you the
so
converse of that.
Crazy person that you just can't satisfy.
You could fucking crush it. You could be
it happens.
A badass steakhouse like we have Burns in Tampa.
I love Burns.
Yeah.
There's a bunch in New York that are fucking awesome. Yeah. And there's still going to be someone that's shitty that's going to be like, well, I felt really hot when I was in there. It's like, bitch, you're on menopause. That's
they made me wear an overcoat.
Right. So I think I try to look at that. I try to back out from that kind of conversation and go, well, you don't it's the Mark Twain thing of like, if you always tell the truth, you don't have to worry about being called a liar or something like that.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
It's something like that. But it's like, if you tell no lies, you don't have to worry. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't look it up because the computer will crash. But looks like you had something you were about to say. No?
Yeah. Well, I was going to get back on kind of the spotlight on Fruitwood here. And kind of, you guys are starting up Fruitwood, it's one of Justin's, it's kind of Justin's brainchild. Yeah. And can you go through, just because you were there for those, those beginning early stages, and can you go through kind of the main challenges of Fruitwood? I mean, when you guys were getting started and you guys you're open for business, and you kind of look at each other and you're like, here we go. Now what?
Where's the customers?
Yeah.
Just start coming through the door. Come on. Where are you at?
Was it something that, I mean, you guys probably, sure there's like a press release involved. There's you guys go out and you kind of help spread the word of mouth.
On advertising. No, we actually did no advertising whatsoever. It took a while to grow. Don't get me wrong, but we don't spend any money on advertising. That's like our big thing we're against. Because it's such bullshit, like spending I don't want to catch flack for this, but like spending for like these magazines in Tampa or these newspapers in Tampa.
Yeah.
They approach us all the time. It's cool. I think they're great. I read them all the time. I'm not hating on the newspapers and
But
magazines.
it's not y'all's scene.
Yeah,
It's not how you're gonna get.
Look,
get
it's in
sought.
every city. It's these
Yeah.
weird magazines that
Yeah.
are in like high-end neighborhoods that it's all over the country. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I was like, this is a weird magazine of just ads for the same businesses in the area to the people that live there.
And it's
Exotic
like
wood
$1,500
kitchens.
for like this spot right here.
Mm-hmm.
Our big thing was we did a lot of donating to like different like you said on bikes. You plugged them
Yep.
earlier. Like that was like a big advertising kind of thing for us because we would just go out to all their events and we'd give out free food, free juice, or like the gas blower race, or just any. At first, it was like anybody that really approached us, like different schools, St. John's, like all those schools around us would be like, hey, we're having this PTSA meeting. Can you donate or a gala? Can you donate these gift cards or whatever? Like, sure. So we just started just giving back to like local things.
Local
in the,
awareness, yeah.
Yeah, into the community. And I think people really appreciate a business that's giving back to local charities or local things that are going on. And that brought them into us. So
Yeah.
And it didn't like it also helped. We have a prime location in the middle of South Tampa. We were like watching this get built. So they're like, "What is this?
Yeah.
What is this going to be?" And then they're like, once we opened, they're like, they just started like, "Hey, where are y'all? Tell us about it." And then they started coming in. And now we have.
So it was a slow roll.
Yeah, it was a very slow roll trying to get the customers. But once we got them, now they're hooked. So it's all good. But
Yeah.
that was a hard challenge for us at first, and then figuring out where we're going to get all this stuff from. That was another
So
problem.
your supply chain, how does that work? I know that's not the sexiest topic, and this is where people might drop out. But
This might not be in the headline title.
I'll try to kind of translate this into like my dummy kind of way of looking at it. It's a pain in the dick, and I see this like going grocery shopping now, because like you're like, all right, well, this grocery store doesn't have good meat or fish selection, so I'm gonna go to a Trader Joe's, and then I got to go to the specialty store. My wife's Korean, so we have to go to the Korean grocery store. So it used to be like everything would be under one roof, and now there's so much segmentation on the demand side that it fucks the supply side, because you need, now you have such high constraints. Let's say you have to keep it fresh. You probably want to keep it Florida, maybe as
we
much as
try
possible.
To, but like a lot of people be like, why don't you get these organic apples that are grown like wherever? And we're like, well, these apples cost like $80 for a box, but I'm getting these other really good apples. Like we try to use organic stuff whenever possible. We try to use local stuff whenever possible. But when you're going through like a few hundred salads a day, you're not going to get all this romaine from some local nice farm down the street with
Right.
like, some local people. It'd be cool if you could, but it's not really possible. And like same with apples, like we could get those apples, but we're going to charge you about $15 for that juice now.
Right.
Do you want to try?
The market will demand what it is. So
Yeah.
when you have that one person that's asking for it, it doesn't speak for the market necessarily.
no,
They're
no
an
one really-
outlier. They're in the
Yeah.
top, standard deviation of that. It's like,
Yeah.
so it doesn't. I get what you're saying, and it's an awkward conversation because you're like, well, I'm not going to go into like economics class with you, but it would be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I got some more people coming. Come on, like
Yeah.
you don't want to be a dick too.
Yeah, and like right now we're getting like Florida strawberries because they're getting produced in Florida right there in what's it, Plant City.
Plant City, yeah.
Yeah, so like we're getting tons of those. We'll get tomatoes from Ruskin. We'll use local honey from like a South Tampa farm and all of our juices and things like that. So we try to we'll try to get the organic spinach, even though it's a little more, but it's super fresh and we like the way it comes, so we'll get that.
I don't think people realize how hard that kind of is,
And-
because you're dealing with other small businesses
Yep.
that a lot of the time don't have their shit together, and like you're like, hey, I want it every Tuesday. Just send me this amount of honey, and it's like, oh, bro, I forgot. Like, it's like someone not taking that side seriously.
Yeah.
Have y'all learned that the hard way a little bit?
We're lucky that we've been doing this for a while, so we have pretty good relationships with all the people we work with. So like the guy forgot lemons and oranges today, and I didn't even notice. Like I got all the stuff in, and we're going about my normal stuff, like normal routine of the day. I put it all. We don't even have a freezer. We use all of it's fresh, all in a fridge. You can see everything that we use. And I put it all up, and then they gave me a call like an hour later because I was wondering. I was like, man, why didn't I order oranges this morning? Like, what was I thinking? I only got 10 left, and they called me, and they're like, hey, we forgot to bring you oranges. You ordered it, and it was our bad. We're gonna bring it to you tomorrow. And I was like, awesome. I was like, thank you.
You're like, I did.
I was like,
do
I
that.
thought I knew. I ordered
I
oranges.
am on top of my
So
shit.
it's good that we have relationships, and they're like, if we messed up, I would call them and be like, hey, I don't know, we shorted you money. Like, my bad. I don't want to have like that bad karma or that bad relationship with anybody. So it's important having really good relationships with all your suppliers because, they're keeping you alive. Like, and
Yeah. And if you're like, I get a bad read off of this guy, I think he's doing half avocados and half marijuana. Like, like, I don't know if he's going to be the most timely character.
Yeah.
But because that can screw you. So it is one of those things like vetting your suppliers is always a huge thing. The other part of that is just, shit. I had another thing and I got distracted.
Well,
I got something?
I got some. And I don't think people realize how hard it is to be certified organic these days for anything, whether it's food, whether it's
What does it mean?
beauty products.
I don't know how you can be 100% organic.
I mean, you have to meet some of the most strict criteria regarding food. The way it's grown, I mean, it's just
Unless you're growing it yourself.
It's
I don't have time for
it's
that.
insane the regulations you have to meet and how expensive it is to grow food in that manner, to grow crops that way. That's why this organic food is so expensive because the upkeep with these farms is so expensive. So people don't realize that you don't have to just you can eat all organic. That's fine. You're definitely going to pay the premium for sure.
Yeah.
Because like Fruitwood would pay. It's going to trickle back down to the
You're
customer.
gonna pay more.
And if people want to pay that, hey, that's fine. Like you said, the market will dictate that.
I hate when people are like $8 for a juice. I'm like, do you know how much hard work went in just to make this one juice possible for you? From like the bottles to the labeling to getting all the food here from the person that's sitting there for about 2 hours, sitting there juicing like enough spinach and kale and apples just to make this one little juice, and they're straining it, putting it in another bottle, and they pour it in the bottles.
Yeah. It's a process, and that's what people don't realize also is how much solid food goes into a glass of that pressed juice.
Oh yeah, it's nuts.
It's a lot. If you're to make it at home, it could be a pretty pricey.
Yeah, and they're
Oh,
like, we
class,
could make this
man.
ourselves. I'm like, all right, go home.
You're
buy
still
all the
gonna
stuff from
spend a bunch of
Publix.
money.
Let me know how much work and how much time it took for you just to go get the stuff, make it, and then drink it, and then clean up everything.
Yeah.
I feel like you've wanted to say this a lot.
Oh, it makes me so mad, especially when my friends come in. They're just like, I'm like, you know what? How about you just kick me in the nuts and just take it for free? That's what
we'd
you're doing.
feel a lot better about it that way.
Right, because there's no brevity to explain that. It's like, all right, so basically there's a bunch of unskilled laborers that don't speak English. They're in the fields. They bring it in. They get paid nothing. It comes in on a truck. They don't make much anymore because of margins and market shares pushing them out, like Tropicana or these big guys. Coca-Cola owns Minute Maid, all that. Bleh.
Yeah.
And then like Pepsi owns Naked Juice, all that shit.
Yeah.
And so like it's one of those things where it's like a lot of people just don't get like, oh shit. A lot of people don't think of the back part of that. How did that get there?
Yep.
I think that's where Whole Foods kind of really did a great job filling that gap with the conscious, health conscious people, the kind of labor-ish conscious people. I say ish because it's tough to really find out what's what.
Yeah.
They gave vegans a place to wear their shirts that say "I'm vegan." Don't talk to me. I'm
there's
vegan.
such a big douche factor, but what do you expect? I mean, people call themselves progressive. It's like, yeah. I think all of us think we're progressive.
Yeah.
You could ask fucking someone in a crystal meth trailer park, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm for progress." Like it's like I'm for hope and change. Obama,
Yeah, right.
All right. Trump, 2016. No. What was I gonna say? It's one of those things where you're dealing with so many supply chains too. It's not just.
I hate waste too. Like I'm
That's another
Yeah,
thing.
I
I was
hate-
gonna,
That's
that's
a huge
what I wanted to
expense,
ask. Inventory.
Yeah, I hate throwing it. Like, if I don't go through like this box of spinach and juice or somehow use it, like I hate throwing away stuff. I try to not to throw away anything, and it sucks sometimes when I'm like, when I go to throw out the trash, like I'm like lunch was done, so the trash can's full. Go take out the dumpster, and I feel how heavy it is. And I'm like, oh man, this person didn't even really eat their salad. I'm like, why didn't they eat this salad?
They could have told
Was
me
it
they
not
wanted half
good?
a salad.
Like, yeah, I mean, it fucks with me, but I hate that because it was like some series on Netflix. They have all these fucking documentaries, but I was watching one and they're talking about how much the
It's called Making a Murderer. Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen Avery.
I don't think he's guilty, but
He doesn't waste food.
yeah, he doesn't,
Yeah.
especially not in jail.
Nah.
No, but how much the grocery stores just throw away because of sell-by dates, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, that's still good stuff. Like, why are you gonna get rid of it?
Yeah.
Have you seen the John Oliver on his show last week tonight about how much food America wastes? It's crazy.
No, I
it's
haven't seen it.
nuts.
And there is a lot of like guilt where you're like, if you're thoughtful or conscious of it, when you're throwing away food in your own fridge, you're like, God damn it,
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit.
And then
Yeah.
you think about the money you just wasted, and like all the people's time that went to build, like get you this product, and it's crazy to think about the supply chain of how much money, how much work goes in to get you to something in your fridge, and you're just like, oh man, the sell-by date says whatever today's date, January the 14th, 2016. I gotta throw away, but it's like,
That's chicks.
yeah,
By the way,
they do that. a
Guys
lot.
do smell tests and they're like, I'll
Yeah.
fucking eat that.
I'm usually I will not smell. I have a rule of thumb: do not smell test it. You're gonna freak yourself out if you're eating it the sell by date or the day after. Just cook it and eat it. If it's 2 days after, always smell it. That's my rule of thumb.
I'll roll like 4 or 5
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't even care.
I do smell tests.
That's
every
my
time.
rule of thumb.
But I'm saying like inventory can kill anything in the food area.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I should call y'all a restaurant, juice place. It's kind of
Fast
a grab
casual
bag.
concept. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
Stand up market,
Stand-up
man.
market, yeah.
It's a league of its own.
Yeah.
We're our own thing.
But it's one of those things where you talk to a lot of people that own restaurants, and if they're really good about looking at their inventory, because you are dealing with a lot of different supply chains of like, you got the honey guy over here, you got the strawberry guy over here. What I was going to say is, did you have to find out how to manage that? Is that something that y'all are super concerned about? Because you don't have a shelf life if you don't have a lot of chemicals in there.
Yeah, like our juice, it only has like a 5-day shelf life. And honestly, I like the ones we don't sell, I take them home. I drink them like a week after they're like the sell by date that we use, because it's just what we think they taste good. For a certain amount of time. After that time, it still tastes good, but people get freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
So I drink them. But
you can come over whenever with a bunch of old
juices.
food.
Yeah, just here's all the juices.
Technically old food by the government that doesn't really check it that much.
Yeah, it's not even regulated.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's
I
how
forgot
these
where I was going
flatbreads
with
got
this.
here.
Trump 2016. All right.
Dead.
But I'm saying like, have you had to figure? Is that something? Because I feel like that doesn't end. The inventory game, a lot like your marketing strategy for any company. You don't spend anything on advertising, but your marketing is your experience. Once you got people through
And
the
we
door,
allocate that money to like the free stuff that we're giving out.
So that's
it's
part.
still spending money.
Corporate social responsibility is the fucking general business book term for that, but it is spending money on nonprofits for local awareness. That is part of your marketing platform. We do the same thing as well, and it's one of those things where I feel like it's golf, like the inventory game for a restaurant. You'll never really master it because there's too many variables.
We're pretty good at it. Like there's stuff every now and then you throw away, but most of it, honestly, like we do, because we have so many customers, so like it keeps on coming in. So we have to keep up now with demand. It used to be like, man, we have all this spinach. What are we gonna do with it? So we would be like, let's make a lot of juice and go give it away for free so people could know about us and learn about us. But now we're just like trying to keep up with demand. So we're fortunate to have that problem.
So the free juice days are over, you're saying?
Nah, we still do stuff like that. But like when we used to have like excess inventory, we would be like, oh man, what can we do? Like that's how we came with the idea. We're like, oh, let's just go give it away or give samples. Like so people would be walking by, be like, you want to try a juice? Here's a sample of a flatbread, and like, trying to bring them into Fruitwood to show them like what we got going on. They're like, oh man, this is great. And then they tell their friends and come back and see us and things like that. But
So what do you see? And my big thing too is just because I've seen it personally, and it's been awesome to watch Fruitwood grow. and become what it has. And I mean, every time I go in there, it is slammed. I mean, there's a line of people, and they're all happy customers. It seems like everybody knows each other in there as well. I don't know if it's just because they're all always there or what. But I mean, I would say up to this point, Fruitwood has more or less been a success. But where do you see Fruitwood going in the future? Do you see possible more locations? Do you see you guys getting into expanding the menu, or is it just the old if it ain't broke, don't fix it? People love what we have, and we're just gonna keep doing what we've been doing.
I think Fruitwood here in South Tampa, we're not changing that. That's like one of our models that we want to stick with. But we're maxed out on space. We do everything on top of each other all day long. Like we eventually might have to get like a third shift to come in and maybe like do juicing because it's hard to like still like chop
the
salads.
Counter space.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of space, so that's definitely a model. But we would love to sell franchises, but like locally, like St. Pete, or like open our own in St. Pete. But you get people all the time that are like, we want to buy a franchise. You're like, all right, let's do it. And then like you never hear from them.
And then they just
again.
flake, yeah.
Yeah. But
that sounds pretty simple. They need to listen to episode 1, having a motor.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you get pumped about the idea, and then when a lot of people are like,
I don't have any money. What was I talking about? That's a great idea.
They're like, I just thought it'd be cool to hang out a little more and have conversation about it.
but talk about it or be about it,
And at the same time, it's hard to have that franchisee book ready to rock.
Yeah, like people like talk about it, but, like we're only 2 years and 4 months into the game. Like we would make it happen if someone was like, "Hey, we want to do this." Like, all right, let's figure out how to do it. We'll work with you to make it happen. You're gonna be our first one, so no matter what, we'll find a way to make it happen. But I think more likely we would like to open our own someplace else, like maybe in St. Pete.
Just grow another location. Yeah.
As a partner, I mean, you don't really start making a shitload of money. This is with anything that starts as a local small business, service oriented. You don't start really making money until you have those second, third locations, economies of scale, because you can manage, you can pop around to 2 or 3 locations. Your salary's split between those 3. Same with your other partner. And then that's when your profit margin goes up per location.
Yeah, you can probably. I think you can probably handle like 10 to like 8 like by ourselves. But like once you start getting past that, like you can't really have quality control. Maybe 8's even too big of a number, but you really wouldn't have the quality control. So probably have to hire someone just to handle quality control.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have regional director.
Yeah, you would have to get someone just like pop in because you can't jump to every place.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to sacrifice the service or the product that you guys are providing out there. So.
Well, look at like Chick-fil-A's new competitor that started out of Tampa, which is PDQ.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. And they were like, "We'll be your Pepsi to Coke." Like I don't give a shit. Like
the market's huge for that. Yeah.
Right, and they have a clean experience. Same thing, higher price, fast food.
Yeah. But good service and it's just fresh.
And the way they do it is, when they have good quality control in every location. I know in the Tampa Bay area they have, one person that's the regional director or whatever you want to call it, that handles that quality control, not only food wise but service wise. Got to make sure you don't have to say my pleasure. Like Chick-fil-A. But
yes,
they are open on Sundays, so it's a little crankier. But they might be making up for that, that Chick-fil-A when you're really hungover and want some fucking chicken nuggets. Woo.
Yep.
Yum.
That's where it's at.
But I think quality control and just have that customer service, we rely a lot on our employees because they're like our lifeblood, like without them, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
And you got to have those A-team players that, when you step out, they're handling it. They're going to bring the same customer service that I bring and the same product that I bring when I'm not there. So it's having, you got to rely on them. So I think give a hand to like the awesome employees that
absolutely
takes to run a business
so
in our business.
How do you
we appreciate them.
How do you keep them motivated? Because it's a lot of entry level, probably, right?
Yeah, a lot of them are in college. They go to UT, and we've had a few that have lasted. They start off as sophomores, they're seniors now at UT, and
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And like we had a girl that's been a sophomore in high school at Plant, and she just got accepted college and for singing. She's like an amazing singer, and she's taking some time off now to get scholarships, but she's gonna come back in the summer. So we have like really
maybe you guys could have her sing to some of the people online.
We want to have her actually perform before she leaves, like have like a concert or something. So we'll talk about that another time.
That'd be cool. Okay, so that could have gone into the what's next for Fruitwood answer.
Block parties. We have we only done one so far. It was pretty sweet.
That was a really good time.
Yeah, we had like other local businesses and charities come out there, and we don't charge anything. You just come out, we invite you, you have a good time. We do like specials on beer and food, and we try to raise money for a certain charity. So our charity was for ALS. We did like 5 years now. It's called Jay. A little plug here. Jay's Defensive Line. He just passed away the other year, the end of last year, and from ALS, which sucks. Yeah. So we sold like wristbands. So we sold $5 wristbands. We did it every year, and like we weren't like a huge contributor to the ALS. Like we probably raised like $2,000 at the most, but it was still fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like we raised $2,000 to give to this charity. So
absolutely, man. I think that's something on a and not even like to say like on a small scale or small level, because it's
bringing awareness.
It may seem small on a national and global level, but on a local level, and what that does for the community, and to see people rallying around something like that, that's huge. And that's also great to have, your business to be a part of, and you to personally be a part of. That's something that builds not just with your employees, that brand loyalty and that company loyalty and job satisfaction, but also with your customers. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's, and also just like the food that y'all have that's fresh, and you work on keeping the quality up and keeping it, within its time constraint is a lot of people don't see the bottom of that iceberg of doing those kind of charity events, doing those nonprofits. Those can be a pain in the dick. And I've been on the other side of that a lot. I've done a lot of charity stand-up gigs. I've tried to produce some. I did a comedy tour, which I think y'all came and saw it.
Laughter's the breast medicine.
6 years ago,
I think
Combing for the Cure.
Splitters or something like that.
Sold that bitch out. No, that's right. No, but I'm saying but on the other side, sometimes either the charity doesn't have the means, the manpower. There's something lacking usually, and I guarantee I'm visualizing you running around just like, we got to get it done, got to get the tables over here, got to get this tent over here, got to get a mic cord. We don't have it. Who's emceeing this? What's going on?
It's the logistics, man. That's stuff. And I've seen the inside, or from the outside looking in on nonprofit and charities and how they set up events. And I would honestly say, and I think anyone who works in nonprofit would agree, the number one thing they lack is manpower.
Oh yeah.
When they have so many great ideas for events, but to put them on, they need volunteers. They need people in the community to step up and say, yeah, I'm going to donate some time. I'm going to donate some sweat, some effort, probably a couple headaches.
Oh, yeah.
And
titular.
That's right. And to help get these events done, so we can raise some awareness, maybe raise some money. So the fact that you guys do that, I think, is commendable, for you guys. At Fruitwood Stand Up Market, at Instagram, Fruitwood Stand Up Market, Facebook.
But I think the employees also have to believe in what you're doing, so they don't realize it's like some shit, company or some shit product they're putting out. They're like, oh man, these people really believe in what they're doing. I don't want to let them down. Yeah. I'm gonna work hard. So of course they want to get paid, but they want to put out a quality product.
Yeah, but there's other places they can go to get paid probably the same pay scale. And I think it's the environment you guys create. It's what you stand for that helps draw them in and gives them.
And I think
that
it
value.
trickles down from, if you see me working hard, like, you're going to work hard too. You don't want to just be like, oh man, my boss sucks. He's just sitting in the back doing nothing.
All he does is just grow a beard.
Yeah, he takes naps in his car.
Yeah.
But, you see like everyone working hard, you're going to work hard too. So like, that's why I think a lot of people that maybe like could be like a C employee or not as good, they kind of weed themselves out because everyone's working so hard. And you're not going to participate. You just they half time just don't show up ever again.
And I think overall, because I was going to say the same thing. Like, they need to see you sweat, and they need to see you working harder than everybody. They need to see you just be like, oh shit, okay. And even sometimes not 100% on like, not 100% knowing what to do, but I'm going to figure this out. And I'm going to figure it out in about 30 seconds. Just give me let me go stroke my beard in the corner and play with my ponytail, and I will get back to you. and I'll strategize. I'm going to strategy session with myself.
There's a lot of winging it. Like when you're getting started, there's not like any like playbook that's like in from a manual that's like, all right, you're going to make the salads like this. We're going to chop them like this. Like, well, that's what you're going to sell to somebody if you did a franchise, because
you're going to get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like there's so many things, like we had no idea what we're doing half the time. We're like, we didn't realize like this is where we're going to chop the salads, and this is where we're going to make the flatbreads, like or keep the salad dressings. We just were like, all right, well, it's getting really busy. Let's put this
by
here.
any means
Let's do this.
necessary,
Yeah,
man.
like we're going to get you this product, and it's going to be amazing. But we're going to work really hard to figure out how to get it to you.
Well, look, man. I mean, we got to shut this mother down. We're getting.
Yeah.
We're getting. Look at that. It goes by really fast.
It
man.
really does.
Woo.
I feel like there's like 10 times.
So I
so
wanna-
much stuff to talk about.
I want to wrap it up with this one thing, this one question. I want you to answer as the chief operating manager, or
Partner.
officer and partner of Fruitwood Stand Up Market. If you could tell your customers one thing that you would want them to know, either about what it is that Fruitwood stands for, what it is about how you feel about making their food, about the ingredients, about anything, what would that thing be? Go ahead before we wrap up.
Thank you. Come again. No, we appreciate all of our customers because they're our lifeblood. Like without them coming in every single day and telling everybody about us, we would be nothing. So for them being here, telling like in Tampa, telling everybody about us, we love y'all. Like without y'all, we would be nothing. So
Awesome.
you make us happen. Same with our employees. Give them mad respect.
It seems.
Booyakasha.
It seems like y'all have a good philosophy from the top down, as like actually giving a shit about everything you're doing. And look, I mean, it's. I know I'm saying this kind of anecdotally to kind of be a little glib, but I don't think a lot of businesses have that mindfulness all for everything, from hiring good people. There will always be people that weed out, whether they're good or not, and you'll always have the local business stuff coming in, but the experience of people coming back, that you can feel it all the way around.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, if you have someone that's pissed that's working there, it's gonna be palpable.
The customer's gonna see it and be like, "Why are you so angry? Why? Like, what are you doing here?" And then they're gonna be like, "This sucks. I had this angry person serving me my food."
Right.
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, like the lady at Checkers, just fucking always pissed.
Like,
I don't
what do
get
you
it.
want?
I didn't do anything. All right.
And
Don't-
it's hard to be positive all the time. Like, trust me. Like, you talk to like a few thousand people, you're just like, God damn it! Like another one. Like, stop. But no, and then like you're telling yourself like, wait, I shouldn't be like that. Like, I'm thankful they're coming in. But like you know, like you still get tired. Like it's hard.
It's
Yeah.
like
Well,
being
you're a human being.
yeah.
well, it's like
So-
being a pastor or priest. You know, you gotta just put it out there. But I'm sure when even you don't want to be positive or super nice. I'm
You
sure
gotta do it for everybody else.
after a while, like you walk in not feeling it, and then probably about 20-30 minutes in, the more positivity you give out, the more you get back.
Yeah, and plus, like you're in a positive environment, like other people, you feed off other people's energy, and you know everyone's happy.
Yeah.
All right, man.
So I think that's a pretty good place to wrap up for the episode. We've guys, check out Fruitwood Stand Up Market. You can check them out on Instagram at Fruitwood Stand Up Market, or you can check them out on Facebook /Fruitwood Hyde Park. And I think what we're gonna do is maybe on Tuesday when this episode drops, we'll play it through the loudspeakers at Fruitwood.
Yeah,
and enjoy
absolutely.
a flatbread with you guys.
Let's do it.
I'll sit outside so I don't hear my mumbly voice. But yes, I will drink in the parking lot.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.